Can you increase the volume here a little? It is good. They can't hear. Can you hear me? Hari Om. Can you hear? Okay. It seems like in disguise of the kids, we are having some, what do you call them? Otter? In the rivers and in the lakes, they have those otters or otters? Otters. Yeah, we have like tiny pieces of various things that have been shredded in. घर पे भी ऐसे ही करते हैं. Worse? अरे राम, अमर, it's okay. It is worse. That I didn't realize. Oh, I don't want to do that. She's saying you should go enter the teenagers' rooms. मती मारी नहीं गई है मेरी. Once I had an opportunity to travel from Austin in a megabus, or there was this Yuva Kendra member, our own Balavihar student who studies there. He says, Swamiji, I'm driving back. You can join me. So I finished my thing and I got in. Never ever again I'm going to get into a college student's car or an apartment. Like 1 month's worth dirty clothes, I don't know how many times that fellow has repeatedly worn it, that I had to put my head out of the window all through. I have had very scarred memories. बच्चे अमेजिंग होते हैं. Can somebody remind me what shloka we were in 2 weeks ago? Did we finish the 11th shloka? वो कब की बात कर रहे हो यार? अच्छा. Okay, which shloka are we on? 11? 11 we will start. Okay. I'll believe him. Repeat after me. Ma kuru dhana jana. Let us retry. Ma kuru dhana jana. Yavana garvam. Harati nimeshat. Kala sarvam. Maya mayamidam. Akhilam buddhva. Brahmapadam tvam. Pravisha videtva. In the last shloka, it was more of an objection raised. Net result being, what should be or where should be our priority. To make it very, very clear, he says that where we should not have our focus upon, that which should not be our priority. So he says, Ma kuru dhana jana yavana garvam. Garvam, wrongly placed pride in the following. What are the following? Dhana, jana, yavana. Dhana, wealth. Do not take too much of pride in that, because it's quite flimsy or transitory in nature. We go to the banks so that we can deposit it there and it is safer. And in the last month and a half, we have had banks evaporating. Yesterday also there was one bank, First National Bank, First Republic Bank. It's hanging in there or it's gone? Supposed to be gone today, in spite of they pumped in 30 plus billion. And that's what, fourth bank? So this is a tangible money, right? That which you can feel, touch, smell. I wouldn't suggest it, you can even taste it. Then comes the wealth which is in the stocks and the bonds, wherein it's a little abstract. On one day, the evening you sit down and you see that you have made millions and you feel happy for the money which is as abstract as you can get. And by morning it would be completely poof, gone. And then we feel the sting for having known that I have made millions and I have lost those millions. I think more abstract than that is the new currency, crypto. It's the most abstract format of money. There is no tangibility to it. That also keeps rising and falling. Anybody into crypto? No? मैं थोड़ी ना IRS हूँ. And the camera is focused on me, not on you. Answer मिल गया. I got the answer. And that also keeps going up and down, and it is the transitory nature of wealth is very clearly seen. And it comes and goes. Dhana. And it has a expandability theory to it. I've heard experiences of people who came in here as students and survived in an apartment with bare minimum and in a very little expense. How many of you have gone through that kind of experience of studying through here? So you know what I'm talking. Bare minimum, maybe once in 6 months call home, calling cards, and the entire amount is like, Sunai de raha hai? And that it is gone. Can you listen? Can you hear? And by the time you have said that 7 times, your calling card has come to an end. And nowadays you don't even need to pay for it, right? Voice over IP and so many different formats of it. And today we earn a lot, but it doesn't seem to be meeting the ends. So my expandability theory is, as much as we get, that much we expand our wants and needs. There is no limit to it, there is no end to it. Dhana. Then comes Jana. Jana, what kind of power of people around us? See, I can influence my life, I can influence my family. Oh, that word is quite popular these days, I believe. Influencers. YouTube influencers, TikTok influencers, और कहाँ करते हैं influence? Instagram influencers. The more I can influence and seemingly have a control of a say in their lives, to influence. Jana. That also we see that millions of followers, the same people that look up, praise one little incident, the same millions of followers end up cancelling you. In today's words, I would call it cancel culture. They are ready to cancel you and nullify your very existence. We have seen that in politics. You are in this team today, you are in the next team today. Constantly there has been shuffle and shift. People who have been in one mindset or one kind of party, they didn't like something, they shift, and they shift so aggressively to something else. Jana, shift. And never get carried away when somebody is praising, because the same mouth can come back and, as I said, cancel, criticize, and we get pretty deeply influenced or hit by it. Jana. Whenever I think of Jana, there is this scene from Sholay that runs in my head. Anybody who has not seen Sholay? Everybody has seen? No? So must watch. क्या बता रहा हूँ मैं? So there is a scene where that jailer has few people behind him and it says, आधे इधर जाओ, आधे उधर जाओ, बाकी मेरे पीछे. हंसरानी. हम ब्रिटिश ज़माने के जेलर हैं. आधे इधर जाओ, आधे उधर जाओ, बाकी मेरे पीछे. Like half of you go right side, right wing, left, the rest of you, half of you go on that side, the rest of you follow me. Like, when you look back for support, our own family, friend, kith, kin may not like to support or be there, stand up for us, and we'll be left all alone. It happens quite often. Jana. And we see that force and have the pride that पता है मेरे पीछे कितने लोग हैं? क्या तुम्हें भी नहीं पता? How many people are supporting me? One little thing and they can flip just like that. Dhana, Jana. And the last one is the funniest. Yavvana. Youthfulness. None of us can eternally stay youthful. In fact, in our literature, in our Vedic literature, those who have pursued the effort to remain eternally young, do you know what they are called as? Thank you. They are called the Rakshasa and Asura. I mean, look at any Asura, what is the boon that they are asking? To live forever youthfully. I mean, to live forever in old age is not what they are seeking. Their demand is that I want to stay eternally youthful as this body. And those who are pursuing that are called delusional, therefore they are called Asura or Rakshasa. Can you name one? Hiranyakashipu. He thought he knew the system to beat the system. All different pairs of dichotomy he placed and he said, these are the pairs in which I should not be impacted by. I should not be killed inside or outside. I should not be killed up or down. I should not be killed by an animal or a human. I should not be killed. हाँ, डे और नाइट, वो मैंने बोल दिया. कोई बच गया हो तो बताइए. अस्त्र और शस्त्र. So he nailed it, he thought. See, the story in Bhagavata is Brahmaji comes, Brahmaji has 4 heads, quad processor. So he came and he came with his Sapta Rishis. Sapta Rishis are more like CPA. They have a keen eye to find wherever the loopholes are and identify them quickly. Right? Correct करने के लिए. तो 7 of them were behind him, but his one head was facing them, right? 4th head. So Hiranyakashipu would ask for each class, and Brahmaji is communicating with those other 7. They are like, de do ki nahi do? Can I give him this boon or not? They would quickly refer and say, there is a loophole in this. Give him the boon. I said, Tathastu. Inside or outside? He got the message, Tathastu. Up or down? Tathastu. And finally, there was something that came from the pillar. Even that has a beautiful message there. Who is a bhakta? The bhakta is that, devotee is that individual who can see that divine or that presence of divinity even in the inanimate. And who is a Rakshasa? Who refuses to see it even in the animate and wants to claim eternal youthfulness in the body, by the body, as the body. Now this body is something which cannot remain eternally in the same condition ever. It will deteriorate. Body in any Indian language is called what? Deha or Sharira. Right? The definition of Sharira is Shiryate Anena Iti. That which deteriorates is called body. On one side you say that oxygen is required for survival, but what is it that that oxygen does once you breathe in? Any doctors? Simple anatomical understanding is also enough. Are you okay, beta? Oh, you are with mom. Good. The Balavihar student went straight to the coordinator. Okay, they'll take care. Shiryate anena iti, that which deteriorates is the very nature of this body. It is made up of these 5 elements, and the 5 elements themselves are not permanent. It's like we invest in the bank thinking bank is going to be there permanently increasing our, but if the bank itself is gone, how safe is it? Similarly, we are investing in this body which is Deha. Dahyate iti Deha. That which at the end of the day, end of the life has to be burnt away. That is what is this Sharira. It is not something through which, by which we can live eternally. And the most irony of it is, nobody seems to like the stage that we are in. as this body. Go to any of the elementary class, and while talking to them, refer to them as you little kids. What is their reaction immediately? I am not a little fellow. I am a old boy. I am a big boy now. ठीक है. Then we all really become old. At that time we want to look old. Now we really become old. And at that time if somebody called us old, suddenly we change the very question paper. And I am young at heart. दिखता किसको है भाई? I am young at heart. We are not talking about the heart. We are talking about the physical body, right? It is old. If that way you want to claim, you should not claim youngness. You should claim eternity. I am neither young or old. I am eternal. Look, kar lo baat. And that is from the standpoint of the jiva, standpoint of that eternity. No, we want to be as this body, and we want to be, and nobody seems to be happy, right? Young want to look old, old want to look young. Yavana is not something that can be guaranteed and permanent. Yes, it's a beautiful phase to go through. A very blooming phase to go through. But it is not a permanent one. Cannot be retained as permanent one. It will also get deteriorated. And I think humanity has spent a lot of effort since a very long time on pastes, lotions, potions to make ourselves look radiatingly, glowingly, amazing. Fair and lovely, fair and handsome, Fair-ever, L'Oreal, Neutrogena, anti-aging serum. Have you seen those? Seen. I'm not asking if you have used. At least seen. मैंने तो केवल देखा ही है. स्वामी जी आपको क्या काम है, क्यों देखते हो ये सब? I think the last time I saw it was in an airlines magazine. It is like so shining, anti-aging serum. We should stop talking Vedanta and go invest in that. And if they are promising eternity, but I know that also is delusional. Why? Because the same product, if they have been launching for using or claiming for the last 30 years, if the model that they used 30 years ago is still the same model, and you use the product and claim that yes, it has, see the effect, it has not made a dent, she has not changed. Every 6 months the company is hunting for a new face. What happened to the old face? Yavana, that youthfulness is an intermediary phase. It's a very beautiful phase to go through, but that's about it. It cannot be retained, it cannot be claimed. But we spend so much of time on that. Dhana to secure it, Jana to proclaim it, and Yavana to enjoy it. Because at that age is that cusp wherein we tend to enjoy life maximum. Afterwards we have wealth, we have material, but we don't have the capacity to enjoy anymore. So recently I was at somebody's place for Bhiksha, and they had all kind of chatpata things, and none of them who were the host were taking any of that chatpata. I said, "Why, this is little spooky that you have cooked something and you are not ready to take it yourself. And I need some guarantee, right?" So they are like, "Nice, yeah, my tongue likes it, but my stomach doesn't like it. The metabolism has changed, it has shifted, it cannot digest anymore." Coffee, chai, there was a time when you could down them any time of the day or night with no effect, no impact. There comes a time wherein just the smell of it, I said, "No, I will not be able to sleep for the next 3 nights." Things change. There was a time where you could enjoy without these second thoughts. The fact of our experience is that all of these change and we invest our search into wrong mode and be stuck there. Dhana, jana, yavana, garvam. Why? Harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. Kala, time, in time, all of these vanish. Is that something that which needs to be said again and again, that it is that difficult to understand? Should not be. Do you have your photo album? Like Google stores everything these days. So if you look back, it will give you the timeline also. 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Pull out each one sample. Put them next to each other, then and now. You don't want to torture yourself with that? You see yourself, the change that has happened. Dhana, jana, yavana, harati nimeshat kalas sarvam. Maya mayamidam akhilam buddhva. This is called Maya. ये सब माया है. What does Maya mean? There are some languages where it is translated as magical. No, magical is, it doesn't cut it. It's not the actual translation of it. Delusional. Delusional. Why is it called Maya? Again, go back to Sanskrit. Yama sa Maya. That which appears, but yet it is not. It has 2 aspects to it. That which is and yet cannot be experienced, or that which is not and assumed as something that can be experienced. That is called being delusional. So once I was trying to teach this to 8th or 9th grade class in one of the camps. So it is an abstract topic. So I ended up using the example. Do you see horns on my head? Needless to say, the kids were so excited. Almost all of them jumped in and said, "Yes, we see horns on your head." I said, "Good. That is called being delusional." That which exists not but you perceive it as existing is called being delusional. That which exists and we perceive it not, that is called delusional as well. these transitory things of the world and its worldliness cannot promise us permanency of joy or even an iota of peace within. Because it is not in their nature to either be peaceful or be joyful. That which is not its nature, they cannot promise you that. And yet we run after material, environments, money, people to try seek this peace and joy. That which exists not, but we perceive and pursue. That which is, we don't want to believe in. What is the scripture talking? The scriptures are, the Vedic literature is roaring, saying, it is verily your own true nature. But for that you have to dig in and invest yourself into yourself, which means we have to take time off of the hustle bustle and be able to invest ourselves in ourselves. More than this 1 hour that you are coming on Sundays, more than that, on a regular daily basis. And we say, Swamiji, all this Vedanta, na, I will attempt at it after retirement. Abhi time nahi hai. Now after retirement, my grandmother used to tell the same thing to me. When I was 14, 15, I would take the self-unfoldment book. Have you seen that self-unfoldment book? So self-unfoldment book and then my prayers. These were the two books I would carry to a Yuva Kendra class. And if my grandmother was there, she would always object. She said, this is not the time and age for you to go to such things. And she would turn to my father and mother and said, why don't you stop him? This is such a useless. One day, she just objected and she wouldn't let me go. And she was like very agitated that day. I don't know why. She snatched those books from my hand. I said, okay, Daddy, baitho. Okay, fine, today I will not. But tell me, when is the right age for me to pursue such things? She was like, when you get old, when you retire, that is when you should focus on this. I got whacked after this argument with my grandmother. I was top spinned by my father. You understand top spin, right? So I asked her, what framework of age do you consider yourself to be? Have you reached that old age? She said, yes. Why haven't I seen you ever with any Bhagavad Gita or any kind of thing to study or read? For that I was smacked. I was questioning her. And her answer was very innocently, she said, Beta, I tried. My eyes hurt because, too much to read. I can't focus. Ajib baat hai. At that age when I can read, I can focus, I can assimilate, I can understand, you say that that is not the right age and you say that is to be done at the age where you retire, and at that time what is our condition? It's like every limb hurts. Every limb says that it exists. It seeks attention. That which exists we perceive not. That which exists not we perceive. And this wrong pursuing attitude is called Maya, delusional. जो है नहीं उसके पीछे भागना. there was a mental asylum. The old doctor was retiring and the new doctor had come. So the old doctor took him around, introducing him to all patients. So there was one patient, that fellow was in his room locked, and he was busy doing this. बस ऐसे बैठा हुआ था, he was just. So the doctor, the newer one, he says, he addresses him and he says, "Kar kya? What are you doing?" So very busy, he looks at him sharp and he says, "Can't you see? I am rowing." So the doctor, obviously being new, asks a very wrong question. He says, "But where is your boat?" And this fellow immediately checks and he comes to realize there is no boat. He panics and starts to swim. What should have been the question? You need swimming or a boat and rowing if you are in water. What should be the question? Where is the water that you are trying to escape from? That which exists not, we perceive and pursue, burn ourselves inside out, and say that the world is treacherous. It has been a painful, miserable experience to go through it. It was not easy. And we end up asking wrong question. Kab tak? Until retirement. The question to ask is, that which I am perceiving, does it even reflect remotely that it can be a possibility for me to achieve through where I am searching? It takes courage to pursue that question. For many of us, it is easy to shove it under the rug and move on as if nothing has ever happened. I am sure this question must have shaken you up once at least in life. But then what happens after that? We drown it in our own make-believe hopeful system and continue along. Maya mayamidam akhilam buddha. Once the courageous one stands up, pauses to re-evaluate our entire perspective. See, supposing I am going I-45 south. Suppose, thinking that I am driving I-45 south to reach to Houston. But instead of seeing those cities as I keep driving, I am seeing more of the northern cities. So if I have to travel and I am not hitting those cities, as a sane driver, as an intelligent driver, what is my first thing that I have to do? I saw the video of your lips move, but the audio did not reach me. Take an exit. Stop matlab, what you meant was not right there on the highway, but take an exit, go to the nearest point of enquiry, which is maybe a gas station, and enquire. Enquire, is this the right direction? And even after being told that the direction is not right, you get back in your car and head the same direction as you were driving earlier, saying, human being lives on hope. एक ना एक दिन पहुंच ही जाएगा. One day we will reach. वो कौन कौन से गाने हैं ना बड़े बड़े से, हम होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब. कब? एक दिन. हाँ, मन में है विश्वास. We shall overcome someday. Not today, not right now. Someday. That is called Maya. That is called delusional. That when we are being told that that which we are heading out is in the wrong direction, we don't even heed to pause. And that day when we make a change in our perspective, priority, a seeker is born in pursuit of that which for sure can give peace and joy. And where is it? It's not difficult process. Spirituality is not difficult. It's our inability to change the perspective is difficult. The problem is us, not the path of spirituality. It is not abstract, it is not unfathomable, the rigors of it. It appears to those who have never attempted at it. The path of spirituality is the most simplest thing. As Gurudev used to say it, how far is the dreamer from the waker? You sleep, you are dreaming. How far is that dreamer from the waker? Is it miles and miles and miles away? Is it a lot of effort? Is it a lot of stretch? Crooked pathways? Dark alleys? None of the above. The moment the dream breaks, you wake right there then. Spirituality and the spiritual process, if somebody were to say that it is ridden with mysteries and mystical, that it is so far away, the Upanishad also says, Kenopanishad says, that though it appears farthest, Duram eti, Tadu antike, it is the closest, it is the simplest. What is difficult then? The difficulty is my inability, my mind's inability to pause and have the courage to reevaluate myself. It requires a lot of courage. It's easy to continue in the la la land without even pausing, because that is how everybody is directing themselves. It's easy to hide oneself in the flow. It takes quite a stamina to go against the current. As they say, even the dead fish flows with the current. If you want to make the change, the courage is to reevaluate. That is when we will be able to be the seeker in search of that truth, which is our own true nature. In spite of listening to this, does it sound logical to all of us? Does it sound improbable? Sounds logical? Reasonable? And yet, as we get out from here, what becomes important? मार्केट कैसा है, दोस्त कैसे हैं, चल यार, it is a very sad day, market is डूबिंग, मार्केट डूब रहा है, डूबिंग. स्पिरिचुअलिटी तो नहीं कर पाएंगे, लिक्विड स्पिरिचुअलिटी कर लेंगे. We go back to the same rut again and again, knowing that that is not where I want to be. I just took one of the habits. There are so many habits that we go back to. Maya mayamidam akhilam buddhva brahma padam tvam pravisha viditva. How simple is it? Do you all drive car? Don't stare at me, please give me an answer. डर लगता है. Do you all drive a car? Would you be in a car which you know which cannot be turned off or stopped? What would it mean when you say that that car cannot be stopped, cannot be switched off? It's a risky proposition. I don't want to be in that kind of an equipment. You come to answer or question? How does it matter? Are you already there? पहले ये सोचो कि बाहर कैसे निकलेंगे. How does it matter? Are you already there? No, the scriptures are saying it can be stopped, you have to get out. It is possibility. But our mind, we are not ready to put an effort to stop it, pause it. So again we ask wrong question. Boat kahan hai? Boat, where is the water is the question. It doesn't matter. Are you already there feeling stuck? If you are already there, you need to know how to get out of it. Right? See, if supposing you are in a boat and you are pushed out, you fall into the water, what do you want to happen? To get out of the water or and into the boat back, or ask, पहले ये बताओ किसने धक्का दिया? Who pushed me in? And how does it matter when whoever pushed it? First get out. Am I getting across? Krishnan ji, Sridhar ji, समझ में आया ना? पानी में हो यार, बाहर निकलो पहले. नहीं, पहले बताओ किसने डाला. नहीं होगा यार. How does it matter? After you get out of it, then ask. I can think of it. Now, car की बात example तक है. Don't overstretch it. हाँ जी. Bhagavan says very clearly in the 7th chapter that any karma or desire to fulfill your dharma is where Bhagavan is there. Dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Bhagavan says it clearly. But what we overstretch ourselves is hopelessly hope that that karma should bring me that joy and satisfaction. The field of karma cannot give us that joy and satisfaction. You are eating a habanero thinking that it will be like sugarcane juice. You are expecting the wrong thing from the right situation. It cannot give you that. That aspect is what is being called as delusional. Doing karma, doing it as dharma is fine. But through that I want something which it cannot give. That is where the frustration comes. See, the frustration is not that the child is not listening to you or not molding as you are guiding. The frustration is that I am not finding that joy or peace which I thought I could gain through this. They are two different. Ma phaleshu kadachana. It has been said very clearly several times throughout Bhagavad Gita. We have discussed it several times as well. But that wrong anticipation is what holds us hostage to our own wrong priority or wrong thinking or wrong direction. Does that answer your? We already have many such scary things. Add one more to the list. Yes. Yeah. Okay. What is the first step? Learn how to pause your mind, thinking, emotion and separate yourself from it. Say that again. Detachment would be a better word. Awareness, it's too subtle for this point. I would say be able to detach from it, knowing that I am being dragged by it. At least at the point where I can detach myself, I can watch it. We show our inability to even detach. I am not talking about detachment to your wealth, detachment to your spouse, detachment to your kids, detachment to I am not talking about that. Detachment to your own emotion at that point. Whatever frustration, irritation that is there at that point, to have the ability to immediately remember this is a thought and the thought cannot take a grip of me. I should be able to grip that thought and then be able to detach. That's the first step. But when do we get that sanity? Few hours later, few days later. And because we know we did not show that maturity of detachment, instead of re-evaluating, we waste our time in regrets, remorsefulness, feeling guilty, I shouldn't have done that, I am sorry. So many people when I interact and they end up saying sorry, I said I don't want sorry. What I want is an evaluation, which is what is going to help you so that you don't end up in that same situation again. So the first step would be to be able to detach. Which is probably what I was telling even Sridhar when he came with that question. The first thing is, how do I get out of here, detach from here to be able to not be influenced by it? No, he was trying to overextend it to a place which he also understood that he was overextending it. Therefore, I stopped it there. And he also stopped. So let's not go back to that. Even if there is something, then it is between him and me. Let's not get stuck there. Let us detach from it. And then the last rescue would be to jump out of it. But these cars that we have tools to stop this. We have tools to slow it down. If you abruptly stop it, it is going to explode. There will be psychological things that will happen. You don't want to do that. You can slow it down. You can very maturely slow it down to a pause. This is on constant bean diet. The gas is constantly self-produced. Anyways, the point is, the mind is, we think that it is an unstoppable proposition, but it can be stopped, it can be worked at. And that is what we are taught as a community. The first thing that we do to our child, when you go through the samskara lists, is called the Upanayana, where the mantra diksha is given. It is introduced to the child when they are barely 4 years old. You teach this technique when they are barely 4 years old to learn how to control your own mind. That is the first thing that we teach as our civilizational ethos goes. Today that particular thing, that step is done at 28, 30 as a precursor to be qualified to get married. Pathetic. It should have been applied last 24 years for self-growth. But we use it as a temporary method to get a permission to get married. Because a person who has not gone through it cannot get married. So what is the license? You get that step done. A convenience. So in our sophisticated, intelligent living, we have neglected it. So it seems a little impossible, but it is not impossible. Am I getting across? The first step would be detachment, and the detachment. See, the thing, material, people, environments can be easily done when you know from inside you can handle your own stuff. Your own mind, thought, emotion, if you can handle, the outside is just a mere cling that can be easily worked with. That's not that difficult either. What is difficult is detaching from our own raging moments of emotional whatever we are stuck with. Does it answer? Detachment, right. Chalo, I'll stop here. Next week we will not have. The week after that we will continue. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.